What's up, guys, and welcome to the Talkoffame podcast. I'm your host, Kyliemontigney. I hope everyone is having a great day. And joining us today in the Talkoffame podcast is Mae the Pirate, or known as her name is Mae Piggins. She was a singer-songwriter and engineer at Bell Sound Studios. Mae, thank you so much for coming on the podcast and welcome, to Talkoffame. I'm super excited to have you on today. How are you?
I'm super excited to be here. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Of course. I know, I of course say this every single time, but how did you your passion for songwriting kind of start?
Well, so my oldest sister, she had gotten a piano one year, like a little tiny Casio, like the ones that glow if you press it, that are kind of small and tiny, just for
Mhm.
funsies. So she had one of those and she kind of got bored of it, but it was just around the house and I would play it a lot and I really liked it. And I started messing around on it so much and eventually asked my parents for piano lessons, where I started that. Um, and then I got really obsessed with like video game music and like orchestral music. I just thought it was the coolest thing ever, like having a whole orchestra with like 100 people playing these great scores. So I started learning the cello and yeah, it was all that I did. I just spent all my time writing on cello and piano and then went to school for it and here I am. Yeah.
Where'd you go to school, for college and stuff?
I went to Berklee College of Music, the one in
Ooh,
Boston.
Berkeley's such a good college in terms of music. It probably one of the best, maybe the best school for music, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely top tier, especially for like they called it when I visited, they were like, it's almost a trade school for music. It's not like a lot of the conservatories are like, let's learn classical writing and how Bach and Beethoven used to do their stuff and like sheet music etiquette and stuff like that. Whereas Berklee is more of here's the computer and here's how we do it nowadays, like this is
Mhm.
how the tech actually works. And it's moved so fast because with tape machines were before and now there's digital music and now there's everyone can upload to Spotify, so it's a really quick moving industry and I feel like Berklee was a really good place to learn about some of the newer music tech stuff. That was very very helpful.
Yeah, did you do it in person or did you do it like online classes type of thing?
I went in person. I if online classes were more popular then I would have done it because I graduated like right before COVID hit.
Uh,
Which I super lucky. I could have done a 5 year thing and stayed, and then I would have been stuck online. But yeah, it was really cold up there, so I was in person. Very snowy, very cold. Yeah.
The Berkeley that you went to, was that in Boston? Right.
Yes, Boston, that one.
Well, Boston's amazing. Places they have there is amazing, but also very cold at the same time.
Yeah, it was great because, some people want to get the traditional college experience where there's like a frat party and there's like all these people. What's nice about going to Berklee was that it was a small little music school,
Mhm.
pretty tiny, but you could go around to like other areas and there's a million colleges and meet people who aren't just all musicians. So that was like very fun. Yeah.
To go to a different college and not just musicians, you can go to parties there, kind of explore something out, like your own college is something good about Boston because there's so many colleges in Boston, like Boston University, Boston College, Harvard as well. So there's like a million colleges to go and meet other people besides meeting people that are into music and learn about
Yeah.
different people.
That was really fun. It was definitely a great place to go to college, I think, out of all the places I could have gone, because I was like, I want to do music, but who knows how that's gonna work, you know? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And you recently came out with a new album called Neon. What song is your personal favorite and why?
That's a really tough one on that one because I really like Neon's one of my favorite albums I've released, I think. But I guess my favorite would probably be Mid July or SSRI Baby Doll. I like SSRI Baby Doll because I think the song is really funny.
Mhm.
Because it's like I have to take SSRIs to be happy, but like date me anyway. And I thought it was
Yeah.
funny.
You
And
can tell by the name, it's just you knew it's gonna be a funny song.
yeah,
It's gonna be
yeah,
very
it's
funny.
just kind of like making light of like that's always what I try to do in music is turn into something fun and happy because we all go through things that are bad and a little hard to talk about a lot of the time, and music is a great way to talk about some of those things without it being like super intense and depressing. So I
Mhm.
wanted to talk about like a lot of people are depressed nowadays, but it's not the end of the world. Like I'll be your SSRI baby doll then, so
Yeah,
turn it
exactly.
look at the flip side. Yeah.
Yeah, look at the flip side. Exactly. Even you're going through a tough time, you're there's always a bright side of things. It's just
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
always a happy, joyful, funny side of things. whether it's like a song or a personality. Like there's more things in life than just being depressed, and music is just one of them.
Yeah, I was hoping that like, somebody's listening to their sad playlist, or Spotify is doing an algorithm where they have all their sad music, and then SSRI Baby Doll would come on and they'd be like, you know what? You
You're like,
know
oh,
what? It's not that bad,
yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
Not bad
yeah.
at all. But like, how does this
Yeah.
yeah,
You go
and like,
first.
how does this album highlight your personal kind of experiences, like through maybe like mental health or friends and stuff? Like, how does it kind of highlight that?
Well, Neon was kind of so one of my favorite songs I've written, which is not on Neon, is called Actress, which I feel like is a good one to describe all my music, which is like I can be sad sometimes, but I'm going to put on like my happiest, best
Mhm.
self. And I feel like Neon was part of that, like the first song being like, you make me feel really good, but I'm scared of you. Mid-July is kind of like, I am so happy when I'm around you, but I'm not sure about our relationship.
Mhm.
And Night Terrors is kind of similar. It's like, will you love me through the night terrors? Like, will you love me through all of this stuff? And yeah, I think it's just turning negatives into a positive and seeing the light in some of the darkness. I think overall it's a pretty upbeat album. Um, One of my other favorite ones is like over COVID and just recovering from COVID. A lot of people, and just with how life is going, a lot of us are online a lot,
Mhm.
a lot of us are online all the time. And so I wrote Boteon. That song is about me being online with all my friends, like calling, playing online games, Discord, whatever,
Mhm.
all my online friends. And the song is like, somewhere outside your window, people are dancing, because sometimes we do karaoke nights, but it was through, like Zoom or Discord. So it was super delayed. And it was really funny. Like we were all having such a good time. And even if we were all alone, I was like, somewhere outside your window, someone's dancing, and you can be dancing with them, even if you're not exactly right next to them. So I
Yeah.
think a lot of them are just like dealing with the modern world we're in and seeing the positive side.
Yeah, amazing. And like, it's just like, that's literally me though. Like when someone's literally on the phone dancing, I'm literally just on the other side just dancing along for some reason. Whether it's
Yeah.
like through like a video screen or just not through a video screen, I'm always dancing. But it's like that's how like what I love about how music works is that like you get to like write back your experiences, whether it's like dancing through a window or a video screen, or
Yeah.
it's like it's crazy just how technology works, like through like music and connecting with friends on Zoom, and like how much COVID really kind of switched on how things were usually done before that.
Yeah, it was like a switch that was happening slowly. Remote work was sort of a thing then, but then COVID
Mhm.
hit, and it just it felt like it rushed us forward by like 3 years in technology because we had to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I feel like all of us, especially like Gen Z millennial people, are all kind of struggling with that change, because we
Mhm.
do need as humans like a little bit of human connection, but it's scary to go outside, it's much easier to just hit send and click end, than
Yeah.
to go get in your car and go to yeah. So yeah, I like to write about those things, and I do think it's all good, the internet. I don't think it's entirely bad. So
Yeah,
just write
like
about the fun
everything's
parts.
not bad at all. It's just like there's obviously a bad side to everything, but it's like if
Yeah.
technology, like when, like of course Zoom and Google Meets were a thing like before COVID, but then like it just took like a massive hit once COVID happened, and all we got to do was connect with family on Zoom or go on the phone with them or FaceTime. Like that's like the only way we can connect with people, whether it's like fans or something, is through technology, because of course we couldn't leave our houses. Like that was the only thing possible. So it's like when we had technology, like it just like changed the world for our people our age and our parents or our grandparents, and the way we work through things. Like I remember during COVID, I literally to like teach my aunt how Zoom works. I remember.
Oh wow.
So
Yeah.
it's like I just like that's a time where just like you need to teach your like loved ones how to do Zoom, even though like they don't know, is the Zoom doesn't never existed for them when they're growing up. So we kind of have to, since we're experiencing it right now.
Yeah. I also thought one thing I still think is funny, fumbled the ball because Skype was really popular back then. And then it just,
Mhm.
sorry, I don't know if you cut out for a second. It looks like you disappeared. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was funny that Zoom just overtook Skype. That made me laugh
Yeah.
because like
Yeah, like
people used
Scoop,
to use
like
that.
Skype
Yeah.
was so popular. I remember like making a bunch of Skype accounts when I was young. Not gonna lie, I used to
Yeah.
be on
Yeah, like
Skype.
Skype and Uvu. Do you remember Uvu? I don't know if anybody
Yeah,
knows which
yeah.
one that one was, but like, pre-COVID, like maybe 2012, I guess.
Yeah,
It was
2012, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
2012 or around that time. But like Skype was so much more popular than Zoom. But once 2020 hit, they're like, oh, we're taking over. Like,
Yeah, I don't know
you're
how that
done.
even Skype
Yeah,
really
and
fumbled
like,
it. Like,
yeah, right. And
yeah.
like, what does the kind of like the album's title kind of reveal, if anything, about the album's kind of impact and themes?
That's a good one. So a lot of the things that I have something called synesthesia or chromesthesia specifically. It's where you hear sounds and you associate it with colors. And so when I was much younger, it was definitely more prevalent in my life. It but yeah, you associate sounds with colors. I used to play the piano, and if I was playing in a certain key, sometimes it'd be really red or orange, and I'd have like trouble seeing it, and it would get really confusing for me because I was really young.
Mm.
But I chose the name Neon because I thought that most of these songs on this album were very like electric. I don't know how to describe it, but color wise, I thought the palette was very like bright and shiny. And so, and it's also, yeah, it's music is not tangible. It's not something you can touch or feel. So I liked the idea of using neon, which is a gas that can be shiny and bright, and but you can't touch it, something like that to link with the music because it also felt like it vibed with the colors. So it was a little bit of a dual thing. And I also liked it because then I had a sister album called Xenon that I did, which was similar vibes but slightly different. So I think neon is also the more colloquially known, like everybody knows what neon is. I've got a neon sign behind me right now.
Mm.
But xenon is a little bit like what is that? Is that it's a gas too, but that one was a little bit more me and a little bit more weird and off the beaten path. So I liked having neon, which is like this is bright, colorful, people will like understand this one, and then one that was slightly weirder that was a little bit off. So that was kind of why I chose that name. Yeah.
Ooh, that makes sense. Like it crazy to see like how much like the like personal experience, whether it's like through something you see, because I know like a lot of people are colorblind, and so like when they see it, they're like, oh, that's not pink, that's blue. Like
Yeah, yeah.
so it's like crazy to see like how your experience like kind of impacted the way like, oh, this album's called Neon, obviously it's personal experience when I was very young. Like does it still impact you to this day?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the definitely the synesthesia isn't as bad as it used to be. Because it used to be almost like I feel like anything that you have when you're a kid is like debilitating. You're like, what's going on? But as I got older, I kind of got used to it and it faded a bit. So I still like associate colors and music, but it's not like some people have it to a point where they like get tastes, they see colors. Like some people they touch things and they see colors, and I'm like, I don't have any of that. So
You're like, thank you so much for
yeah, right.
letting me have that. But like, how did you kind of like create the name Mae the Pirate?
Ooh, that one was a fun one. So it also kind of links back to how I started music. So I used to write my sheet music. I would play piano, I learned piano first. So I'd write little sheet music when I was learning. I was bad at learning other people's songs. I always like to create my own for some reason. I was kind of a rebel. So I was like, I'm not learning Bach, I'm playing my own. So I would write my own little tunes and then I'd write it out as sheet music and post it on a website called MuseScore. And this is in kind of the message board era. I don't know if you know what I mean when I say that, where like there weren't social medias yet, but
Yeah.
there were message boards for like books or for games or for things. So
Mm-hmm.
you'd go on like a forum and you'd post, and that was kind of early internet vibes. So I posted on MuseScore a lot, and I got like thousands of people listening or downloading the piano music because it was free and it was easy music because I was just learning, and it was
Yeah.
little pretty ditties. And so I had a lot of people on there that were super supportive. I made some friends on there. And then as I got older and played the cello and started kind of making more music, I felt like that was really where I started. And if I
Mm-hmm.
hadn't had those people by my side then encouraging me to do what I did and playing the songs and sending it to me, I wouldn't have continued, like their support really got me into it more because they cared. And so I didn't want to leave that name behind. I was like, I feel like even if I made that name when I was maybe 12, but yeah, but it was also inspired by my last name. My last name is Higgins, which means Viking.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, Viking's kind of a lame name. I wanted pirate because pirates were cooler, and I feel like it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of rebellious music anyway.
Mm-hmm. And like
So
Pirates of the Caribbean, like with Johnny Depp. Like,
yeah,
that's like the first
yeah.
track came in that pirate. I was like, oh, Pirates of the Caribbean. Like that's like the song
I
how
mean,
like
that's my favorite movie too.
yeah, the movie.
Pirates of the Caribbean is my favorite movie. Yeah, and I do write. I feel like a lot of my music comes out not as much now, but a lot of it usually came out pretty epic. Like epic is in grandiose because the cello is grandiose. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's why the pirate makes more sense to me. But I guess other people would expect me to play sea shanties, but I don't. I don't.
Yeah. it makes sense to you to play the cello. Like it's all right.
Yeah, yeah.
It's all right. But like, do you have like any like upcoming music coming out soon?
I'm working on an EP right now.
Ooh,
I'm actually really excited about it. The EP is gonna be called "I Hope Your Car Breaks Down"
ooh,
because,
that's a great name. Oh, I have a feeling about this one. I have a
yeah,
good feeling about this one.
yeah, because I had a couple bad situations with some friends, and I wrote some songs like trying to be like looking at the positive side, but then I decided after a minute, I was like, you know what, like I'm mad about it, and I'm not gonna not be mad about it. So this EP starts out as being kind of an angry one, but I feel like it's very fun because yeah, I hope your car breaks down is one of the songs.
Yeah, when I hear like I hope your car breaks down, I was like hoping like someone hurt your feelings and that it's like kind of like this mess their car up so they can break down and pretend it's not me. That's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I won't break down your car, but I do hope that their car
yeah, I hope
breaks
it
down,
does.
you
I
know?
hope it does. But I'm not gonna say it, but I kind of hope it does.
Yeah,
But
yeah. So
what
that's the next
does
one.
what does like your kind of music mean to you personally?
I think my music is a kind of an escape. It's a way to not let the bad thoughts become like worse. It's a way to just let all your emotions out. It's cathartic to let it all out. And when you hear a song that says exactly how you're feeling, like that feeling is unmatched to me. Like I recently found an artist that wrote an album that I really relate to, and I went to Nashville to go see their show because I was so obsessed and like I met them and everything. And it's just hearing someone play something that you really resonate with is such a good feeling. And so I just want to write music that I hope people who have been in similar situations as me and maybe struggle with the same things can listen to and feel better about it. And that's really all that I've always wanted to do, like make a little community of people who, if somebody else is like, oh, you like Mae the Pirate? Oh, I like Mae the Pirate. You kind of understand, oh, so you're kind of messed up in the same way as I'm messed up. Like, let's be best friends, you know? So
We have so much in common. Let's be besties for life. Like
exactly. Yeah, that was always what I wanted, especially with like my online friends who do listen to my music or just online friends in general. A lot of them stay inside and it's hard for people to make friends, and I just hope that I can find something people can bond over, because the show
mhm.
is a really good place to meet people like-minded.
Yeah,
But
exactly. Like who's like artists that you met, by the way? I'm kind of curious.
Candy Carpenter, you should check them
Oh,
out because
really? I never heard of them. I definitely have to check them out now since I'm now kind of curious to check them out.
yeah, you
But
should.
like
Yeah.
like what? Like I know this is like a total different topic, by the way, but like what do you do as a kind of like an engineer at Bell Sound Studios?
Oh, so we do film and advertising, but the reason why I love the studio so much, which is really cool, is that it was an old like jingle house in like the 60s and 70s. So when you would hear like State Farm or We Are Farmers, any of those
Mhm.
jingles or like come
Yeah.
get your coffee at McDonald's, like those things, they would record horns and they would record strings on tape. So
Oh.
it's got this crazy history, and it has like it's a big studio. It's got a grand piano and all these old music. Like it's got a whole old organ there, because that's what they used to do. And then through time, advertising got less and less music oriented, where some guy in his laptop can make the background music, and they don't need to hire 20 horn players to play. So it's a lot more recording voiceover and things like that. And we also do like television shows, like we did some Black Mirror, we do some like Netflix stuff and HBO. So I get to meet a lot of like cool artists and actors and people like that. But the history of music behind there is just it's awesome. And everybody who works there, they miss the music. They're like, it's sad that musicians kind of got kicked out with technology, but there's once again pros and cons to everything. So now anyone can write their music on their computer, whereas there's
Mhm.
less musicians coming in. But I try to bring my friends in to play as much as I can. And yeah, I worked on TV shows, and my favorite one was Sex Life. I did a lot on that. That was on Netflix. Sarah Shahi is the lead for that, and she's amazing. She was just such a pleasure to work with. So yeah.
That's so interesting. That sounds like such a fun job to do. Like if I ever had that job, I literally would be living my best life ever. Like to meet
Yeah.
actors and people in this industry, I'd be like, I don't want to leave this place. This place is like my whole dream combined in 16 years.
Exactly. Yeah, that was kind of how, because it was the first job I got out of when I first moved to LA, because I was working at a radio station in Boston for Berkeley. It was like Berkeley's radio.
Mhm.
So it was the first one I got when I moved out here, and I was like, everyone's like a family too. Like I know they say sometimes companies are like a family and they treat you like garbage. But no, they're really like, it's a small little studio, like independently owned. It's a great place to be.
Yeah, because especially if it's like a studio is kind of small and not like a lot of staff, it just like the smaller it gets, the closer you'll get, like closer bond you'll get with the people.
Yeah. And I get to hear crazy stories about musicians in the 80s, and they're like all telling me about it. And I'm like, what?
But like the last
Yeah.
thing I have for you is, what is some advice for upcoming singer-songwriters that are just starting out?
Ooh, I would say never stop because there's going to be tons of reasons why it feels like you should stop, or people will, tell you you're not good enough, or it'll seem like all these problems are insurmountable. But just lately, something in the air is telling me like these indie musicians that I've been finding lately are just amazing. Like I feel like the era of record labels is passing slowly, now with the internet and everybody being able to post on TikTok and Instagram their own songs, it really is the best time, one of the best times to be an indie musician. So even if nobody's listening, maybe people aren't going to your show, or you feel like you're not getting there far enough, you just keep going because, yeah, music has no age. People can be 40 and make their first hit, so it's not. And if you love it, just don't stop, just meet people who inspire you and care about your music. And if people don't, aren't there for you, find someone who will, because there's always someone out there that'll like it.
That is some good advice. I couldn't agree on that more, because if someone's not going to support your work or what you do, then what's the point having them in your life if they're not going to support you? I mean, there's so many people that
Yeah,
will.
there
That's
is.
basically perfect. And so thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Oh my gosh, I love chatting with you. You're seriously awesome. And thank you everyone for coming on and listening. Your support means everything. And I hope everyone has a great rest of your day, night, morning, wherever you are. And thank you so much for coming on. I hope everyone enjoyed this conversation. And thank you so much again for coming on. I'm super excited we got to do this.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, and bye to everybody watching. Yeah.
Of course, I hope everyone has a great day, and hope you have a great day as well.
Yay.
Have a great rest of your day. Bye.
Bye.